All right, welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. We're going to get right out to the phone lines tonight. Ron Cook, not here tonight. I am hosting solo, so let's get out to the phone lines and go out to Sammy in Greenfield. How you doing, Sammy?
Hey, Rich. I'm good. So first of all, I agree with President Trump on his stance in the NFL on the national anthem and MAGA, Make America Great Again. And I also think that the news coverage of that is very unfair, especially like CNN and some local channels, but KDKA is doing very good on covering President Trump and his stance on national anthem. But Fox and Friends has been very good, and I appreciate that. And about the Steelers, I'm very disappointed in them not attending the national anthem on the field, because for everyone bashing the Steelers, they stood in the tunnel for a national anthem. Not one player knelt or did not participate. They took a stance on not being involved in this drama. And I wonder why they couldn't do the same on the field, stand on the field for the national anthem. And one more thing about the Penguins, I'm very happy that they accepted the invitation to the Great White House to visit President Trump for the Stanley Cup ceremony. And I'm very happy, and I wonder if the Penguins will win October 1st. Let's go, Pens. Let's go, Steelers.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sammy, for your call, and you're entitled to your opinion on what you think. And I appreciate the call here and letting us know what you think. But we don't know who stood in the tunnel for the Steelers, but they wanted to do something as a team this week. From what we're told, and Marquise Pouncey said it yesterday, if you watch KDKA-TV News, that 100% participation this week they're expecting out on the field during the anthem. So we'll see what happens. This is going to go on all year. The television ratings, if you heard Ed Bouchette, he's our Steelers insider, talk a little bit about it. The NFL ratings are down 10% from last year, and last year they were down 8% from the year before. So people aren't watching. Although CBS's pregame show was the highest pregame show in quite some time. So it seemed like people tuned in to see what was going on and what happened, and watched maybe the beginning of the game, or watched up until the anthem to see what teams would do, and they seemed to turn off. So that's what's going on right now. So hopefully maybe the two sides, maybe Trump, I know a couple of players want to meet with him and talk to him, maybe the two sides, it would be nice if they could all get into a room and figure something out. And how hard is that? Trump, Roger Goodell, get together, get some players, and, sit down in the room and talk it out, and do something that you think is appropriate, you think is right, and that you might not offend a certain faction of people. So I appreciate your call, Sammy. Thanks a lot. Let's go out to Fred in Newcastle. How you doing, Fred?
Hey, Rich, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
I want to talk about two things real quick. About the protest, I blame the owners solely. They could have put a stop to this last year when it happened. They own this. They own the team, the stadium. Players work for them, and I would just have told them, you want to do this, you do it on your own time, venue, but you're not going to do it here. And the second thing is about the Pirates. Andrew McCutchen, we're gonna miss him, but it's best for him. Go elsewhere, try to win a World Series, because it's not going to happen with the owner we have. He doesn't deserve that stadium, and you better always remember that was a taxpayers funded stadium, and it's too bad for Andrew, because he's a great guy. And that's all I need to say.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Fred. Thanks a lot for calling from Newcastle. And, the owners could have done something last year. They didn't. I know the Steelers were, 100% that they weren't going to kneel, that they were standing for the anthem last year, and that was not an issue. I know some other teams, felt the same way. So, we'll see where this goes. I expect it's going to happen every week, where some guys are going to kneel, some guys are going to stand, some guys are going to do whatever they want, and this is going to continue to linger on. As for Andrew McCutchen, I want the Pirates to sign him. I think the Pirates need to sign him. I think they need to sign him not only for the team to be as good as it is right now or even better. I mean, he is their best player. The team kind of goes with what he does. You notice when he slumps, the team slumps. When he plays well, the team plays well. It's no coincidence that the Pirates got back in the race when he got hot again. So the team goes as he does. And, you know, it's a shame if the Pirates do trade him. But if they trade him and they get a ransom back, then you can't blame them. You know, if they get maybe the #1 pitching prospect from a team that's a AAA guy that's this close to coming up into the majors. If they get the #1 outfielder, you know, is part of that deal. Maybe a major league ready third pitcher. Maybe some help, something like that. 3 prospects and a major league guy. I think a good major league guy, someone that's can be your third starter. I think that's kind of what they're looking for, and if they can get that, then I think they pull the trigger. If not, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think it could be a PR nightmare if they don't sign him and if they don't get anything for him and they just trade him away just to trade him away. You know, they're already down in attendance, and I don't know what the final attendance is for the year, but I know that a lot, and you know, I think they kind of need to do something to boost their PR, their image with the fans right now, because it seems like fans are, I know a lot of guys, a lot of friends of mine that had season tickets or had partial season ticket plans that all have canceled. You know, a couple of the guys that I golf with, I asked them about it. They said, no, they've canceled season tickets. They get phone calls from the Pirates all the time, and they said they're not going to renew unless the team is competitive again. So, you know, I don't blame all these guys. I don't blame fans for not going to the games. I mean, if you want to watch them on TV, that's ratings are down, and that all comes from the top. You know, I blame Huntington a little. I blame Hurdle a little. I blame the manager a lot. I mean, the owner a lot on this one, because, you know, he sets the budget. He basically tells GM Neil Huntington what you can spend and what you can't spend. Now, Huntington, you know, has missed on some things. Huntington, Daniel Hudson is one of those misses. $5.5 million overpaid for this guy who was not good this year. And, you know, if he pulls off a good deal and gets something back, then we'll see what happens. But this year, I think the Pirates kind of get a pass because of all the things that happened, the Jung Ho Gung, even though they knew about that in spring training and could have done something in the offseason to try to fill that void either at second or third, and they didn't know it was going to happen to Marte. That's a big loss, and he wasn't the same player when he came back. And, you know, they misidentified their starting pitching. Wasn't that good. So Garrett Cole's supposed to be your #1 guy. He didn't live up to expectations. Andrew McCutchen had 2 months where he was bad again. So these guys need to be consistent, need to play to their capability, need to be the star for them to be competitive. All right, back out to the phone lines real quick before we go to break, and let's go out to Mark in Highland Park. How you doing, Mark?
Rich, how are you tonight?
Good, thanks for calling.
I don't think when many people are talking about Rich are understanding that Andrew McCutchen will be 31 years old in 2 weeks. His trade value is extremely limited. All general managers who run baseball will look at his age, and they will look at the career numbers. They're pretty much not eye-popping, Rich. Averaging 22 home runs and 79 RBIs a season does not jump off the page at you, and GMs will not mortgage their future away for a guy his age with those numbers. If I could give you one statistic that will blow your mind here, Rich. Nolan Arenado, the third baseman for the Colorado Rockies, who just turned 26 years of age. Since the start of the 2015 season, Nolan Arenado has out-ribbied Andrew McCutchen 398 to 238. He's only 26. Think about that. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate the call. And I know he isn't, I don't think he's in the $20 million category right now because of the age, because of his couple off seasons here and stretches where he isn't that good. So I don't want the Pirates to mortgage the future with this guy, but I think if you can give him if he'll somehow sign a $4 million deal that you can front load it like 2020 and then 15, 12 or something like that. I don't know if he would take that. But I think that's where maybe the Pirates should be on this. But I don't know who's going to give him 5 years, $100 million. I think he's beyond that right now because of his age and maybe because of his stats. We're going to take a break. Back with more phone calls, some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.